Hey everyone, welcome to Biology 168, Anatomy and Physiology 1. This little introductory video, I just want to show everyone a couple things that kind of helped me transition into the college um, way of thinking. Personally, I wasn't such a great student, and it took me a while, once I got through high school and undergraduate, and I actually had to start working in grad school um, to learn how to study and learn how to be effective and use my time wisely as an adult learner. So I just wanted to go through a couple basics with you that kind of helped me as I was going through these things. Um, First, I want to start off with one of the biggest things that I had to do, and that was with OneNote. So if you can follow along with me here, you see I take care of a lot of different things that I like to do in OneNote. Um, I just want to show you a little bit of an overview on how to do this. And I'm going to go over this with you in class as well, but this is just kind of a reference video in case you find yourself at night, you know, saying, what in the world was he talking about in class? So you can start by opening OneNote, and I'm pretty sure that all of you have a free download with that by using your Durham Tech account, or maybe you already have it on your computer or anything like that. But you can add a notebook here, and we'll just call it, practice notebook. As I do this, I just want to say, bear with me. You might hear some ancillary noises going on as I record this in my home. It's kind of what we get being adults and having to do things. You might hear the pitter patter of dog feed or a crying child. Just bear with me as I go through that. My apologies. So we'll call this practice. We'll create our notebook here. I don't really want to invite anybody to it. Um, Now I have my open section here, and I can rename my section. I can call this, Unit 1 or whatever I want to do here. If I double click this, I can edit the title. Also, bear with me, my computer at home is not the best, but we make do with what we have. It'll give me a list of options here for adding pages and things like that. I can create my own page here. If I just want to take random notes, I can title this random and then hit enter and start typing and doing whatever I want to. But this is a good way for me, at least, to organize my thoughts. Before I started using OneNote, I would write down every single thing in class, and to be honest with you, that's just an ineffective way to do things because in a lot of classes, and especially mine, the information's already there for you. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. If we were to pull up just a random PowerPoint here, um, for example, this one, and as this takes its sweet time loading up, while we're still young, you'll see that as we get into it, there's a lot of information on these pages that, you just don't need to rewrite. And so, some of the things I've seen in classes are students will look at this and they'll try to write down every single thing on this. Guys, if you try to write down all of this stuff or redraw all of these pictures or try to relate to all of this information that you see, I'm going to be lecturing you for hours. And we just don't have that kind of time, especially in the online format. And so what I've seen some students do is they'll print out the papers and then write beside it. Um, but I feel like that can be kind of convoluted as well. So the easiest thing for me to do when I do things like this is to send it over to OneNote. And so it's all there for me. So if I hit File and I go into Print here, once you download the PowerPoint from the Sakai website, I can change my printer. And if you notice, I can print to OneNote. And I can choose where I send this. I can choose to print all slides and full page slides, so I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll print. Now, with any luck, it should pull this up. let's try it again. Again, bear with me. Like I said, my computer's not exactly the best. Look at that, we have one document waiting. We'll send it to OneNote 16. I like OneNote 16 just a little bit better. So once I do that, it will pop up and give me the option of what I'm trying to do here. You can see all my recent notebooks of things that I've done in the past. We can go into our practice and then to the Unit 1 location here, and we can just hit OK. And when we do that, it's going to insert our document, and then we'll be able to see our entire PowerPoint exactly how we would want it uploaded. You'll get all the colors and graphics you do, and you don't have to waste the paper that you would normally waste, or just bring all that stuff in a big, large notebook to you. You can use your laptop, you can use your cell phone. I believe OneNote has an app, and just use everything you want. So if you notice here, look, I have all of this stuff ready to go for me. And this way, I don't have to waste my time writing down all of this information that is on the slides, because it's already right here for me. And what I can focus on when I'm in class, because you're allowed to bring your laptops, your cell phones, whatever electronics devices you want to. I'm not picky. I'm a huge fan of technology, so go ahead and bring that with you to class. You can use all of that in class and just take notes on the things that I say that are extra in class, instead of relying on writing down everything that you see on the slides. I can rename this here to whatever I want to. We'll call it whatever for now. And there it is in my documents for me. Now what I can do is I can hit Control. I can hold Control on my computer, and this is for Windows. I apologize for Mac users if you have it. I'm not 100% familiar, but I assume it's relatively the same. If I'm not mistaken, the command function is kind of the same as the control function on a Windows computer, but I can hit Control and I can zoom out just a little bit. That way I'm still able to see my slides, but it gives me this kind of space over to the side here. And what I can do while I'm in class is, as I'm going through the lecture and I'm reading the important information off of the slides, because keep in mind, the slides in class are a reference for me to be able to tell you what's going on in the lecture, not necessarily something that you need to focus entirely on, because I give you this information. There's no need for you to, again, write down all this stuff. There's no need for you to copy all of these graphs. By doing this, you have everything there for you. And then I can just click in some random place and I can just start typing whatever I want to. And that will give me an easy way to consolidate my notes. And not only that, but I can write down specifically next to those notes. I can move things around if I want to highlight something in particular. OneNote has these cool features where I can draw on my slides. I can pick a pen and I can say, well, he was talking specifically about this molecule here when he talked about it. Let me draw an arrow here and write something important. I can highlight that, and then all of this stuff will be saved for me once I get back into it. So that's pretty cool, I think. I have a quick access toolbar here that I customized. If you want to be able to do that, you can just hit this button here, and you can hit more commands and click something and then add to it. There's a lot of features in OneNote that help you as you move forward in your academic career, not necessarily at this level, or I shouldn't say not necessarily at this level, but not specifically at this level, and as you move forward through your academic career. One thing that I would strongly encourage you to add here is this little feature here called screen clipping, and hit add, and you'll see it at the top, and I can reorder this in any direction I want to. Screen clipping allows me to add things from a website. So if I'm doing some independent research of my own, or I'm going through the helpful videos, or I'm looking through the graphics of the important figures that I put up in some of the tabs there that are good for you to know, I can use the screen clipping feature to add it to my notes in whatever direction I want to. I want to make sure once I have my pen still on, I click my pen off. by clicking this little button right here, and that'll allow me to text again. And then I can just click randomly wherever I want to go. But this feature right here, the screen clipping, if I click this, it'll minimize OneNote for me and then allow me to clip whatever I want to and insert that into my document. So I don't have to copy and paste pictures. I can take exactly what I'm looking at online or exactly what I'm looking at in a figure or anything else on my computer and put it directly into my PowerPoint here and just keep up with my notes that way. And I've found that this is a really, really easy way to keep organized, focus my thoughts, and all these other things, especially when there's a lot of information being presented in a quick manner. It's just a great tool for me. So I've shown you how to draw. You can do all that stuff. You can add whatever you want to and highlight and do all that fun stuff. You can also add different pointers to where you can highlight certain things that are important that I say, hey, this is going to be on the test. Maybe you should know this. That sort of thing. Showing you how to clip. You can also print other things. So say I give you one of the case study readings and you want to print that into your notes just to keep that with you so you don't have to, maintain that file wherever you're going. You can do the same thing here in, say, a PDF format or a Word format or whatever you want to. You print, send to OneNote 16, highlight it from your specific printers, hit print, and it'll be the same process here. Looks like this one's moving just a little bit faster. I'll have an option to do my recent picks, or I can go through it all the same again and click on Unit 1, and this will give me a printout. Make sure I click back over my text here, and I can call it Case Study Readings 1. And that'll allow me to be able to do that. And then in addition to that, in addition to having this here, I can also type some extra notes like say, oh, hey, this is something that I think Mr. Krayshak might be important to, or I can highlight it here just the same as I would something else instead of having to print all this stuff out and worry about it. So OneNote is an excellent tool for me. Like I said, I love it. I used it when I was a student. I continue to use it today as an instructor. In addition to that, we find ourselves having to study a lot of figures and look at a lot of slides and a lot of different things in anatomy and physiology. So one thing that I started to do was to revamp the idea of the traditional flashcard. A lot of people will find flashcards useful for studying, and what they'll do is they'll take 3x5 index cards, make 1,000 of them. It takes hours on end. There's no point in doing that. I would use an app to do so. All of you have your cell phones. Most everybody has a smartphone at this point in their lives. If you don't, my apologies. Continue to use the old-fashioned method if you like to, if that's what works for you. And if none of this works for you, again, you don't have to use it. But I'm just trying to show you some things that work for me. I found that the Chegg flashcard app made it really easy and intuitive on my cell phone. I don't have the capability to show you the phone on here, but I'm sure that you can look it up if you go to a YouTube or if you need a little extra help, or I'd be happy to show you individually in class if that's something that you're interested in. You can add pictures, you can add text, you can use speech to text. All of that fun stuff is available in this app. So I would really encourage you to do that. In addition to those things, I'm a big fan of Google Drive, where I have a lot of information stored and set up. It's really easy to go through and do exactly what you need to do in Google Drive so that you have all of your information available to you on any computer that you need to, that you can just download it straight from there. There's no need to worry about carrying flash drives with you, no need to worry about printing things out. All of that is there for you and other things. Last but not least, I want to show you something that might make your life a little bit easier when you're going through Word and things like that. And it's just a couple quick commands. First one being mainly to do with copy and pasting. Something that you want to save, something from an internet website, something that you want to move over. When I'm highlighting things, I can do a double click on a single word and it'll highlight that one word for me. I can also triple click and that will highlight the entire sentence for me. So if I triple click, notice that it highlighted all of that stuff for me. Once I'm here, I can hold the control button, or if you're on Mac, the command feature, and I can use a variety of different commands. So control C will cut this for me. and notice it's gone there. Control V will paste it for me. If I highlight again, triple click, I can hit Control C, and that'll copy it. I can click somewhere else on the page and paste it again for me. So those are just a couple quick things that you can do in both Word and OneNote. Like I said, I'll go over this stuff in class. If you have any specific questions or want a little bit more in depth or have me show you personally, just find me during the lab section or shoot me an email and I'd be happy to go over it with you. Thanks a lot, guys.